Hello student, I am Sangeeta Mansukhani and this is the video number 86. In the last video I explained properties of the colloidal solution. So 4 properties I already explained. So today I am going to tell you about charge on colloidal particles, this property of the colloid solution. So charge on colloidal particles, in the last video I already explained. Charge on colloidal particles always carry an electric charge. So nature of the charge is the same on the particles in a given colloidal solution. So maybe either positively, otherwise negatively. So positively, example like metallic oxide, basic diester, example methylene blue salt, hemoglobin in blood, oxide. A negatively charged salt like metals, copper, silver, gold salts, metallic sulfides. Acid dyestuffs like eosine, Congo red salt, and then salts of starch, gum, gelatin, clay, charcoal, etc. So those 2 types of charged salt, positively and negatively. But presence of the equal and similar charge on colloidal particles is largely responsible in providing stability of the colloidal solution. So depend on equal, otherwise similar. If presence of the equal and similar charge on colloidal particles, so it is responsible for stability. So because if equal and similar charge, so repulsive forces, and because the repulsive forces between the same charges, so prevent them from coalescing, or otherwise we have to say aggregating, otherwise we have to say grouping when they come closer to one another. So the charge on the salt particles is due to one or more reasons. Due to electron capture by salt particles during electrodispersion of metals, otherwise due to preferentially absorption of ion from solution. Third reason, due to formation of electrical double layer. Okay, so charge on the salt particles is due to one more reason. First, electron capture, second, absorption of ions, third, formulation of electrical double layer. So salt particles acquire positively or negatively charged by preferentially absorption of positive or negative ion. When 2 or more ions are present in the dispersion medium, so preferentially absorption of the ion common to the colloidal particles usually take place. This can be explained by taking the following example. First, when highly diluted solution of silver nitrate is added to the highly diluted potassium iodide, that is means AgNO3 is added to the Ki. So silver nitrate added into the potassium iodide, that is means Ki. So PPT, precipitated silver iodide, absorbs iodide ions from the dispersion medium, and negatively charged colloidal salt result, that is means AgI, and in AgI, I minus, it is a negatively charged ion, and Ag plus positively charged ion. So when potassium iodide solution is added to AgNO3 solution, so positively charged salt result due to the absorption of Ag plus ion from dispersion medium. So depend on we add. First, silver nitrate AgNO3 added to the potassium iodide, so negative colloidal salt form, and if Ki solution added to the AgNO3, so positively charged salt result, because whenever we have to add, so dispersion medium ion first absorb, and dispersion medium ion, because we have to add, it is a solute way, dispersed phase, and whenever like Ki solution is added to AgNO3, so Ki is dispersed phase and AgNO3 dispersion medium, so dispersion medium ion absorb. So potassium iodide solution is added to the AgNO3 solution, so positively charged salt result. Reason, due to the absorption of Ag plus ion. Second reason, if a ferric chloride is added to the excess of hot water, So positively charged salt of the hydrated ferric oxide is formed. FeCl3 added to the hot water. So this form. Due to the absorption of ferric ion, so Fe2O3.XH2O oblique Fe3 plus ion. So this is the form, ferric oxide form. Fe2O3 absorb excess FeCl3 added to the excess of hot water. So positively charged salt hydrated ferric oxide is formed. Reason due to the absorption of ferric ion. And when ferric chloride is added to NaOH solution, so which ion absorb? OH minus. So we have to obtain negatively charged salt. Fe2O3.XH2O oblique OH minus. Okay, clear? So ferric chloride added to the excess of hot water, so ferric ion absorbed, and ferric chloride is added to the NaOH solution, so negatively charged ion is absorbed. So acquired positive or negative charge by selective absorption on the surface of the colloidal particle. Okay, and attracts counter ion from the medium and forming a second layer. Like see, AgI oblique I minus K plus. AgI oblique Ag plus I minus. So combination of the two layers of opposite charges. Here AgI, okay, and Ki. So opposite charges around the colloidal particle is called Helmholtz electrical double layer. Got it? Combination of the two layers of opposite charges around the colloidal particles. Here you see. Formation of the double layer. AgI solid. First layer is I minus. Then first electrical negative, second positive K plus. Then cloud outside of the layer C. Okay. So the combination of the two layers of opposite charges around the colloidal particles. Colloidal particles AgI. So combination of the two layer opposite charges. So it is known as Helmholtz electrical double layer. And according to the modern use, the first layer of ion is firmly held and is termed fixed layer. And second layer is mobile, that is means diffused. Okay, so first layer, this is the first layer. First layer is firmly held, that is means fixed, and second layer is mobile, that is means diffused layer. Then separation of the charge is seat of the potential. The charges of the potential sign on the fixed and diffused part of the double layer result in the difference in the potential between these layers in the same manner as the potential difference is developed in a capacitor. So main difference in potential. So potential difference between the fixed layer, I minus layer, first layer, and then K plus. So first layer is a fixed layer and second layer is diffuse. So potential difference between fixed layer and diffuse layer of opposite charges, it is called electrokinetic potential. Otherwise we have to say zeta potential. It is very important because maximum time zeta potential question came in the board exams. Okay, so potential difference between fixed layer and diffuse layer. Okay, so it is called electrokinetic potential or zeta potential. If two particles of an insoluble materials like PPT do not have double layers and they can come close enough, the attract and van der Waals forces pull them together. Okay. Then whenever this way electrokinetic potential between the two layers, so this overall effect is that particles repel each other at large distance of the separation, and this repulsion prevents their close approach and they remain dispersed and colloid is established. But more electrolyte addition to the salt suppress the diffuse double layer and reduce the zeta potential. Okay, so what is the reason of the electrolyte? We have to add addition of the more electrolyte to salt suppress the diffuse double layer and reduce the zeta potential, and this decrease the electrostatic repulsion between particles of a large extent and the colloid precipitate. So colloid is particularly sensitive to oppositively charged ions. Okay. Then sixth property is electrophoresis. So first you see diagram. See, colloidal solution fill into the U-tube and then downside stopcock and then both U-tubes. See this U-tube and then one side cathode attached, second side anode, and then U-tube attached by reservoir. Okay, here you see inside the water dispersion medium, first initial level and then after you see colloidal particles settle down on the anode. Okay, so let us start. The process of the settling of the colloidal particles is called coagulation or precipitation of the salt. Here see, colloidal particles settle on anode. So process of the settling of colloidal particles is called coagulation, otherwise we have to say precipitation of the salt. So what is the electrophoresis? First we have to see electrophoresis. The existence of the charge on colloidal particles is conferred by the electrophoresis experiment. An electric potential applied to the platinum electrode dipping a colloidal solution. Okay, so two electrode dipping in a colloidal solution and colloidal particles move towards one of the other electrode. So movement of the colloidal particle under an applied electric potential is called electrophoresis. Positively charged particle move towards the cathode while negative particles move towards anode. See, demonstrate in this, cathode negative and anode positive. So when electrophoresis, so movement of the particles is prevented by some suitable means. It is observed whenever dispersion medium begins to move in an electric field. So this phenomena is termed as electroosmosis. Okay, so opposite ion going to the opposite electrode way. Okay, and then coagulation same, colloidal particles but without potential. Okay, so coagulation or precipitation. The stability of the lyophobic salt is due to the presence of the charge on colloidal particles. If the charge removed, so the particles will come near to each other and to form aggregate, coagulate and settle down under the force of the gravity. Electrophoresis, electric field apply, and coagulation or precipitation without any force apply, only for under the force of gravity. Coagulation particles settle down. So the process of the settling of the colloidal particles is called coagulation, otherwise precipitation of the salt. Okay, so coagulation of the precipitation of the salts can be carried out in the following ways. First, by electrophoresis. Electrophoresis colloidal particles towards oppositely charged electrodes and then get discharged and precipitated. Otherwise, second, by mixing two oppositively charged salt. Oppositively charged salt when mixed in equal proportion, so that is mean neutralize their charges and get partially or completely precipitated. Like example, mixing of hydrated ferric oxide, positively salt, and then negative salt RNA sulfide. And whenever both mix, then in the precipitate form we have to obtain. So this type of coagulation is called mutual coagulation. Positively and negatively charged salt mix up and then neutralize form. So neutralize their charges and get partially or completely precipitated. Okay, so this coagulation type is called mutual coagulation. Third type of coagulation of lyophobic salt, by boiling. Whenever salt is boiled, the absorbed layer is disturbed due to the increased collisions with the molecules of dispersion medium, and this reduces the charge on the particles and ultimately leads to the settling down on the form of the precipitate. Okay, fourth, by persistent dialysis. Persistent dialysis, that is means prolonged dialysis. So traces of the electrolyte present in the salt removed completely, otherwise almost completely, and colloids become unstable and ultimately coagulate. Fifth, by addition of electrolyte. When excess amount of electrolyte added, so colloidal particles precipitate, and the reason that colloids interact with ions carrying charge opposite to the present on themselves. This causes neutralization, leading to their coagulation, and the ions responsible for neutralization of charge on the particles is called coagulating ion. So negative ion causes the precipitate of positively charged salt and vice versa. Okay, so that is means the greater the valence of the flocating ion added, so greater the power, and greater is its power to cause precipitation, and this is known as Hardy-Schulze rule. Again I say, the greater the valence of the flocculating ion added, so greater its power to cause precipitation, and this is known as Hardy-Schulze rule. And in the coagulation of a negative salt, flocculating power is ordered aluminum +3 and barium +2 and Na+. Okay, but whenever coagulation of the positive salt, so flocculating power in order, first like hexacyanoferric, FeCN6 4-, then phosphate ion, then sulfate ion, and then chloride ion. So the minimum concentration of the electrolyte in millimoles per liter required to cause precipitation of salt in a 2 hours is called coagulating value. Again I say, minimum concentration of electrolyte in millimoles per liter, so required to cause precipitation of a salt in 2 hours is called coagulating value, and the smaller quantity needed, so higher will be the coagulating power of an ion. So that is means quantity inversely proportional coagulating power of an ion. So smaller quantity, so that is means coagulation power higher. So next topic I will be explained in next video. Thank you so much.